How's it going, everyone? It's Sam here, and today we're going to watch How to Play Caulifla by, of course, Azukama. Uh, a couple of things before we start. One, I was supposed to have a video out that was showcasing Goku's gameplay. It was 40 minutes long, and the audio may or may not have glitched out, so that's not coming out. Uh, So instead, I'm going to do two videos today because, of course, I missed my daily video yesterday. So the first vid will be this Caulifla vid on how to play her, and the second vid will be a gameplay showcasing her. One last thing, of course, this video is from Azukama. Please support the official release. Make sure to like his video if you enjoy the content that was shown. Subscribe if you want to see more of his content. I believe he is posting guides on every single character daily, I believe. One character daily. So shout outs to him and support him. And if you like this video, if you like my reaction, like the video. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Other than that, let's get on with the video.
If you're itching for a fight, that's fine by me.
Alright, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla. Couple of things to know in that gameplay video. We saw a couple of things. One, she is a transforming character, which means that she does scale well into the late game. However, as you'll see, she'll still do pretty well in the early and mid game. And the concept of the character is any and all opponents can bring it on. Provoke enemies to protect your allies and boost your own damage. So Caulifla passive again for every single character that has a passive, which is everyone in the entire game. You want to play around their passive, and Caulifla's is very, very important because without her passive, she technically wouldn't even be a tank. Her passive is what brings her tankiness, and it's bring it on. Enemies you have provoked will deal less damage to you. Very, very important that you activate this passive ability. That you activate provoked. Later in this video, we'll see how you activate provoke. There's two ways of doing so. One is very easy. The other a bit more difficult, but we'll see. So as you see, when Caulifla did those kicks, it applied a status effect onto the Goku. This little purple marking here. This purple marking is the provoke status. When enemies are provoked, they deal less damage to the Caulifla. Note that this is only they only deal decreased damage to the Caulifla. To her other allies, they will still deal normal damage. It only affects Caulifla. And Caulifla will also receive bonus effects when attacking characters that have the provoke status, depending on the ability she uses. Her passive is essentially what turns her from being a DPS into a tank hybrid. I completely agree. With this passive in mind, you want to make sure you land a hit in on your enemy, even better when you get the first hit. This is very, very true Caulifla gameplay is going to be with this rule in mind. Always, always, always as Caulifla, you want to get the first hit in. Now of course, getting the first hit in won't proc the provoke. It's certain abilities of hers. However, when we see her abilities, you're gonna see it's not too difficult to actually activate provoke, which is very, very good. Uh, but just make sure, first things first, as Caulifla, make sure the enemy has provoked, because she can die somewhat easily depending on how powerful the DPS she is facing is. If she doesn't have provoked on the enemy. If you decide against provoking the enemy and by attacking them, you are likely to unalive faster. This is true. Always apply provoked. Again, no reason not to. Just make sure you use your abilities to activate provoke. There's two abilities that do so. We will see later on in the video what are those abilities. But as you see, one of them is Caulifla's kicks. Very, very important ability. Probably her most important ability. We'll see what it does later on. You unfortunately can only provoke the enemy with Storm Kick or Crush Cannon. Correct. Storm Kick was the kicks that we saw that provided provoked on the enemy, and Crush Cannon we haven't seen yet, but it is her ultimate attack. So it's either you use her ultimate attack to apply provoked or Storm Kick. So as you can probably already guess, what are you leveling up first? First thing they're gonna level up every single game as Caulifla is Storm Kick. Upgrading Storm Kick increases the AoE, the damage, although you don't really care about the damage, all you care about is the AoE. The more AoE, the better chances that you have on triggering provoked. So again, this first thing you're gonna upgrade as Caulifla is Storm Kick. And then her ultimate also applies provoked, but remember you only get it at level 5. So Storm Kick. Attack with a triple roundhouse kick. Applies provoke to enemies you hit. If the attack hits at close range, the duration of provoked will be extended. Can move and change aim direction while using the skill. Again, very simple. Caulifla does 3 kicks. 1, 2, 3. Nothing really special about the ability. It's more so you're just gonna be spamming this. If you're Caulifla, you always just want to make sure you get those kicks in. Make sure the enemy is always provoked. Basically, when you're in a fight, you're just going to spam this ability. That's really all there is to it. Very simple ability. Not much skill around it. It can be used for farming, but just make sure whenever you're about to enter a fight, you have this ready, or you have your ult ready if you don't have this ready. And of course, you can aim where her kicks goes, and you can change direction while doing the kicks. But can't really change to like 180. It's more so you can change by like 45 degrees or so. So yeah. As you see those red markings on Goku, this is the provoke status right here. You can use this move to aggro multiple assailants, and as an added bonus, the cooldown is quite short. Again, you're just gonna be spamming this as Caulifla. Nothing else. As we saw there, that was a level 1 roundhouse kick. And it actually managed to get both enemies. You'll see here if we unpause. It managed to hit both the Oob and whoever this is. Which means that they both deal less damage to the Caulifla. Pretty amazing. Caulifla's weakness is probably going to be ranged characters due to the fact that obviously it's going to be much harder to apply provoked on them. But Azu got pretty lucky here and he did manage to get the Oob, which is very, very powerful. Might be that he wins the fight because of this. Because Caulifla has DPS-like capabilities, her damage is exceptional for being a tank. Honestly, when I played Caulifla, I didn't really notice her damage too often, but I know a lot of people in the community is saying Her damage is really good for a tank, so yeah. In 1v1 situations, obviously, this is practically for every tank in the game. You're probably gonna win 90% of 1v1s. The real challenge is 2v2s. The move is obviously the first thing you want to do to them when interacting with the enemy in order to aggro them and activate passive. Again, as I said, just spam it. First thing you want to do. If you don't have kicks, use your ultimate to apply provoked. It's just that easy. It is important to note enemies can vanish to evade damage or possible even the aggro itself if timed properly. I mean, Azu is probably trying to say here that the enemy can vanish to kicks, which obviously they can. 99% of the time, that's not gonna happen. Even if Caulifla lands one hit, as we saw, still applies provoked. It does not matter. Caulifla does not need to land all 3 hits, just one to apply the provoke. So as long as Caulifla lands the one, so be it. It's important to note though that if you get hit with one Caulifla kick, you can dodge the other 2, which is good to know. That is why I suggest to find an opening with Caulifla. Distractions are prime real estate for Caulifla to strike. True. Although in this situation, I don't think Azure should really be fighting this. This is a 1v2. Although he is kind of forced to fight this because again, he's fighting for a mini boss. He's fighting for Nappa. We'll see if he does anything. It might just cut short, but we'll see. So you can also use this as a last resort to clear a medium amount of ground. Let's say if the enemy is a one shot. This is true. Caulifla's kick range, of course, it gets better as you level it up. As you see, this is level 2 kicks. Because Azu has level 2 kicks, this is probably the only reason why he gets this kill right here. Yeah, it's good for chasing down opponents. However, you have a much better tool at your disposal to snipe enemies and to catch them off guard. But kicks can do it if, because in this clip, as you see, the ability that Azu needs to get the snipe isn't available. Kicks can be a good substitute. Blaze Dive, this is the ability that I was talking about. Ask Caulifla if the enemy is running away or if you just need extra DPS. This is your move. Caulifla will fire an explosive energy blast and then she will perform a follow-up attack to enemies' heroes on hit. This is very important to note. It's only on hit. If you miss this, Caulifla will not dash forward to the enemy. It's important to note that if you do hit it, she will immediately be on top of the opponent, no matter what. And provoked enemy heroes will take additional damage. So as you'll see here, Caulifla will do the key blast. Once it lands, she will immediately be in front of the opponent. This move can work, but if you haven't used Storm Kick to provoke the enemy, you're missing out on a lot of extra damage. This is real. The only reason you should be using this move without provoked enabled is if the enemy is running away, and if you use kicks, you'll miss. So just, again, make sure you're using this with provoked. However, if the enemy is running away, and you want to get the snipe, if you just want to try to kill them, yeah, just use this. No point in trying to get the kicks. At the end of the day, this still does damage even if you don't have provoked. You could use it to engage the enemy first, or to cover long range to clear the final hit on them. Usually, you're not going to be using this to engage the enemy first. Maybe in situations later in the game, when you find it hard to get your kicks in and you just need to get in there to apply provoke, yes, you can use it to get in there. And of course, the last part to cover a long range to clear the final hit on them. This is going to be the main usage for it other than DPS. Yeah, this right here was an amazing showcase. Enemy was trying to run away. You activate the ability. Caulifla does the key blast. It actually managed to kill. Caulifla didn't even manage to kill with the ground slam. It was the key blast, but if the enemy didn't die with the key blast, Caulifla ground slam, easy kill. Here you will see by enhancing it, however, it can act as an exceptional crowd control with good DPS to make the weaker links want to retreat. So yeah, as you see, he managed to hit all 3 of the kicks, I believe, and when all 3 of them got applied with provoked, is very good for the Caulifla because you take less damage from all of them. Plus, you then do your key blast ability. Just very, very good. Because you probably get the kill from Piccolo because of energy release. This skill, unfortunately, is probably her worst skill. Not saying that is bad because it isn't. It helps her out in a lot of different situations, but it's just more of a situational ability. Release a field of energy around you, blocks enemy energy attacks, and prevents them from approaching. Applies movement speed up to self after activation. And as you see, Caulifla basically provides herself with a small barrier that deals damage around her, which sounds pretty good. Unfortunately, the problem is that this is at level 3. At level 1, you're not going to be using this very often unless you need to escape. Because do remember, it does apply movement speed up, which is very, very good. You can use this to chase down an enemy. Maybe you get behind them, you can activate this, it'll push them back, and then you get the movement speed and you can probably go for the kill. Blocking enemy energy attacks. Honestly, I've never even seen it in action. I'll be real. It's very unfortunate because it sounds very powerful, but I just haven't really seen it in action. But maybe if you can time it correctly, but I feel like the game is just too quick for you to accurately predict when the enemy is going to do a key blast. I mean, maybe. Who knows? And other than that, that's really it. Again, it's not spectacular, but it's just good to have. It's just something good. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. Just a solid tool for Caulifla. And because it's a solid tool, you're going to be wanting to level this up last, unfortunately. But even at level 1, basically still does the same job. In early levels of the skill, you're not going to find it to be as effective. Until it reaches level 3, it will only really act as a deterrent, allowing you to cover more ground or defend an objective. Exactly. Unfortunately, some skills in this game are pretty reliant on levels. And the problem is that because of Caulifla's passive, she needs to level up her kicks first. No matter what, she needs to level them up. So unfortunately, energy release is just not going to get the levels that it needs, making it a bit less powerful than other skills in her kit, but still a good move. Once at level 3 super, it essentially becomes a very effective crowd control barrier. Yeah, as you see, it pushed the enemy shrunks back. Again, just crowd control. Remember that the reason why Azu was moving so fast was because after you use the move, you get a good speed boost. The speed boost is actually pretty nice on the ability. This skill is exceptional at separating yourself from a group of attacking enemies. Trill, it's very good for retreating as Caulifla. Are you really going to be using this to retreat? In my experience, not really. But again, you have it in your tool set. Just it's always good to have. At the very least, you should get one level in this skill. You should unlock it, is what I'm trying to say. Uh, just leaving it blank and not unlocking it is pretty stupid. Just because it's an additional, it's an additional tool set. You should just always grab it no matter what, even if it's not as powerful as Caulifla's other tool sets. You should definitely get it to level 1. You shouldn't unlock it at least. Not only that, it can also split enemies apart and push weaker links further from their teammates. Yeah, as you see, this Shrunks did a very bad play. Not sure what the Shrunks was trying to do there. As you see, very low HP. But as you'll see in the next 5 seconds, kind of tried to dance around Azu. I'm not sure why he would do that. Maybe he was trying to go for like a snipe and to help out his teammate. But as you see, Azu gets the kill because of it. As you see, he tried to run in. I'm not sure what he was trying to do. But as you see, Azu does the level 3 explosion. It will knock the Shrunks back. And he's just too vulnerable because after Caulifla does her barrier, she gets a movement speed buff, basically meaning if you get hit by it, you're gonna be forced to fight. Because it gives a movement speed buff to you as well as pushing the enemy away, it can be a good skill for escape tactics. So as you see, that was her animation for transforming. Really do like her animation. Again, all the animations in this game is really, really good. But what her transformation does is basically the same as every single other transformation in the game. It boosts her stats. But most importantly, with each and every transformation, they will buff a certain aspect of the kit. Usually their passive skills. For Caulifla is the exact same. It will buff the damage reduction that she gets from her passive skill. So again, it just buffs the playstyle of make sure the enemy has provoked. As you see, that was her ultimate Crush Cannon. Release a large amount of energy, applying provoke to any enemies it hits, and move and change direction while using the skill. Unfortunately, Caulifla's ult isn't the best. I would say it's more so mediocre. However, what it does is it gets the job done. This is basically Caulifla's main way of entering a fight. Is going to be this ult. Why? Because when Caulifla uses it, she cannot get stunned out of it, I believe. And no matter what happens, she will just continuously move forward. So usually what you do in the late game is ask Caulifla when you're ready for a team fight, you're going to speed forward, and when you get hit as Caulifla, you're going to slow down, but then you use the ult, and the ult is going to push you forward. And it's going to make any enemies hit by the key blast that Caulifla does apply provoke, and it's going to be a very good introduction to the fight. While I won't argue that this is one of my favorite special attacks, there are some drawbacks. First off, as shown in the demonstration clip, you don't want to use this attack to single out a person. This is true. The only time you want to use this to single out a person is if you think you can get the kill on them. If you think you can kill someone with this ultimate, it depends. Usually, yes, if there's nothing else that's going to happen in the minute that you have to wait. So let's say you want to kill someone with your ult and nothing special, like no mini bosses are gonna show up in the next minute or so. that it takes for the ultimate to refresh, then I would say yes. If there is something special happening, like a mini boss that's like right next to your lane, I would probably say I'm not sure if it's good enough to waste it. It depends. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Because of course, if you don't get the kill, that's pretty bad to lose Caulifla's ult. But usually in the early game, you can just use it to single out just one person or two. But in the late game, you really want to try and hit the entire enemy team. This is because, as shown here, it becomes easier for the enemy to evade the attack. Do note that this was Caulifla's ultimate at level 1. Again, it really doesn't do much. It's just there to apply the provoke stats and to push you forward. Not the best ultimate for 1v1s or 1v2s, but if you don't have kick in your disposal and you really need that provoked, it's a good skill to use it. Even multiple enemies can escape the attack if you're not aiming properly or don't have a good angle on them. Yeah, as you see here, unfortunately, Azu messed up the ultimate. He managed to hit, I think, what was that? I think that was, I'm not sure, but the enemy didn't die because he missed. And I believe he's facing off against a Shrunks, and the Shrunks didn't actually get hit by the ultimate, or if it did, the provoke status is already gone, which is why he's taking so much damage. So yeah, just gotta make sure you land the ultimate correctly. Unfortunately, it has a pretty small cooldown. And yeah, you really want to be in front of the enemy, not behind them when you use this ultimate. Or just have a good angle, because remember, it's going to force you to go forward. So just make sure a good angle. The ultimate lasts for around 3 to 5 seconds or so. Make sure you're hitting multiple enemies. If you manage to line up multiple targets, however, it will do great damage spread amongst any enemy caught inside. This is real. A good way to use the ult is if you're in lane. Usually when you're in lane, this ult becomes way better, because again, both you and the enemy are going to be forced to be in the lane. What I'm trying to say is, at the middle, it becomes more hectic, because you don't have to follow this line right here. This line is very easy to predict where the enemy is coming from, and it's very easy to predict when is the correct time to use Caulifla's ult. However, in the middle, it becomes a lot more difficult because it's a lot more open. In closed areas is where you want to use Caulifla's ult. As you see here, Azu does the ult. It can be used to retreat, as he does here, and as you see, when seems like he got a bit scared here, he activated the ult, managed to apply provoked on this enemy, because his ultimate was at level 3, and a new enemy just appeared. So honestly, perfect timing for the ultimate. All 3 of these people are going to be applied with provoke. Yeah, exactly what Azu said. If you don't remember what he said, basically Caulifla, good damage, good DPS, good crown control. She is just really good character all around. Last beta, she was a very good character. I think had one of the highest both win rates and usage picks. So again, she was just a very good character. Honestly, pretty noob friendly, I would say. I don't think it's very difficult to play as Caulifla. Maybe to master her, just to figure out when to use her ult, things like that. But usually, if you pick up the game, you can probably play a pretty good Caulifla right off the bat. Caulifla likes to be front and center. Again, this is the exact same for practically every tank in the game. She wants the first hit, but can settle as long as the enemy is provoked. True, again, Caulifla's playstyle, make sure you get provoked. When you get provoked on the enemy, you will most likely win the fight. Caulifla may not have exceptional healing like her other tank counterparts, but she makes up for it with her exceptional damage. I would assume is what Azu is trying to say here. Can't be scared of the front lines as Caulifla. Yeah. Caulifla, very solid character. And pretty new friendly. So I would say, I mean, what else is there to say other than best girl? Other than that, everyone, that is the end of the video. Maybe this is part one of part two. Maybe I'll make this into two parts because again, this video has gone on for 30 minutes. So, next video is going to be me showcasing some Caulifla gameplay. Now I'm probably going to be doing that. Probably going to be doing it right after this. So other than that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And make sure again to support the official release, Azukama. Make sure to go to the channel and support him. And other than that, that is the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching.